Yo, hell yeah. Wyatt begins in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, welcome to Wyatt. And I'm your host, Wyatt O'Brien Evans. Grr, woof, goddammit, woof, 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 woof. Hi, I said hi to all my YouTubers out there. If you like what you hear and if you like what you see, then click all of them subscribe buttons at the bottoms of all of your screens. And because I know you loves me, I know you do, give me some likes. And because I always like to know what you are thinking, I really do, give me some feedback. It is greatly appreciated. Well, we kick off the fall season of Wyatt by traveling to Uganda for an exclusive conversation with Mr. Senfuma, the renowned Ugandan gay rights activist. Hans and I discussed the impact of the rise of anti-LGBTQ plus hate and violence and how he's pushing back. So, hey, let's start this conversation, this eye-opening conversation right now. The Wyatt podcast is privileged to present Senfuma, the renowned and award-winning Ugandan LGBTQ plus rights activist and poet. He's here to discuss the appalling, egregious, and life-threatening situation for LGBTQ plus Ugandans and how he's pushing back. He's also going to talk about his exciting artistic endeavors. Welcome, my friend. How are you today?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for this great opportunity, Wyatt, for hosting me on your wonderful and good podcast today to address on all these issues that are taking place in my country currently. I will reintroduce myself again. I am Senfuma, a Ugandan LGBTQ plus rights campaigner, a human rights defender, and an activist, and also fighting to promote the fundamental principles and truth everyone needs to know, to learn, to hear and put into existence. And those that are the LGBTQ plus human rights. I'm great and doing well. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to get right into it. In March of 2023, Uganda passed the Anti-Homosexuality Act, which prohibited any form of sexual relations between persons of the same sex in the guise of protecting the family structure. And same-sex relations were already illegal in your country before this new law, as well as in more than 30 other African countries. However, Hans, the new legislation goes much further, and it is one of the world's toughest bans. So would you please describe this anti-LGBTQ plus legislation in more detail and its impact?
Briefly, before we go any further, I would like to to elaborate more about this. On March 3rd, 2023, on May, 2023, a new law was brought in Parliament and it was passed. This law was brought forward in the Parliament by Honorable Asumani Basalirwa, the Member of Parliament of Bugiri District, and it was chaired by the Speaker of the Parliament, who is Anita Among, who is currently the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda. This law contains severe penalties that were against same-sex relationships, and some of these penalties were a death penalty. This was a death penalty, and this was brought forward by the aggravated homosexuality, and this meant the aggravated homosexuality meant, according to them, that any person with a disability, if they have sex with a person who is not disabled, that is a death penalty. What is being disabled? They consider being disabled as even if someone doesn't have a one thing on their body, that is being disabled, and you have some sex with them, and you have this sex with them, then you will be sentenced to a death penalty. Another penalty is the life imprisonment once you are gay, once you are lesbian, once you are transgender, once you are, once you are homosexual in general, you would face a life imprisonment. And then we are having a 20 years of imprisonment, and this was termed as, promotion of homosexuality. This is the work I am doing, advocating for my rights, advocating for the rights of my fellows. It could result a person like me into 20 years of imprisonment. That
Mm.
is, yes, it is a 20 years of imprisonment. We had 6 years of imprisonment once an LGBTQ plus individual was being, and this could happen to the owner of the property or the premises once they could be rented uh, a space where they could be staying, or, a place where they could be working from. That the owner of these premises who has rented this space to an LGBTQ plus individual could be imprisoned for 6 years in jail,
Mm.
you know,
That's,
and many other penalties and many other penalties are still under this law.
we in the US, face anti-LGBTQ plus sentiment, but we really don't have any it's hard to conceive of what Africans go through. It's totally mind-boggling. Um, it's so severe. Um, Allow me to read one of your quotes, and this is you, and I'm quoting. As an activist, I wear many hats. I collaborate with organizations that amplify unheard voices and weave hope into the fabric of despair. My courage is contagious, inspiring others to rise alongside me. I know that change isn't a distant dream. It's stitched into every heartbeat, every tear shed, and every battle thought. That is eloquent and poignant. So let's talk more about that.
Mhm. Um, well, when it comes to my courage as a person, I do write all this basing on personal experiences and daily challenges I pass through as not just an activist, but also as a gay man living in Uganda. Well, as an LGBTQ plus individual who is living in Uganda, not just an activist, I believe we have the same stories somewhere, somehow, as gay people,
Mhm.
according to what is happening, the family neglections, the unemployment opportunities, the denying of housing to us, being sent out of our houses when the landlords get to know that we are gay, we are who we are, you know being discriminated because of who we are. This is literally, making me coming up with all this, with something like this. Personally, as a person, I feel like I should bring out more essence of what we literally want to see in the
Mhm.
future.
Mhm.
um I feel like I'm a voice of those people, of those hard unheard voices that are still in the closets, that literally want to come and put out something, but unfortunately they can't. So I feel like I am a barrier, I am a wall that can receive you know all the bullets from outside, so that I can advocate for the truth, and it is the truth.
Ah, wow, that is truly eloquent. Thank you for that explanation. I want to congratulate you on winning the Troy Perry Legacy Awards Medal of Pride, launched in 2016 in honor of Reverend Troy D. Perry, a founding father of the Pride movement. The Troy Perry Awards is a program of rainbow advocacy. I want to give a shout out to John Boswell, who is majorly involved in the organization. So tell us, how does it feel winning that award?
Well, I'm very happy to see, first of all, I'm very happy to see that my work is being seen and heard by very many people, and it has brought me an award in. But again, it doesn't it doesn't put me on on a sleep bed that I should rest, have got an award. I feel like too much work is still needed to be done. We still need to break down all the stereotypes that are taking place in our country right now. Like, we need to inform the public what is the reality. So I believe more awards are still coming, and I really, really thank John Boswell for all the advocacy is literally doing. And
Hmm.
and you know, keeping an eye on us, keeping an eye on Uganda in general, it is not easy. And you, Wyatt, what you are doing, it is very, very nice. This is advocacy of itself, but through your podcast, it is advocacy of itself. You're advocating for the truth you literally also believe in, and
Absolutely.
yes.
I really appreciate you saying that because we need to know more about what is going on in Africa, regarding LGBTQ plus sentiments and things that are going on there. And I'm really, pleased to have you on the show so that you can speak about that. What I want to do now is chat a little bit about your beginnings. Um, Hans, you lost your mom at birth. You grew up in 7 different conservative Christian families, and you've stated that they have said that being same gender loving is, and I quote, evil. You were dehumanized and demonized. So, what was it like having to deal with that type of vitriol and wrong-headed attitudes?
Well, at first, when growing up, it always feels like you always reach at a point and you feel like, oh my God, it seems I am very bad. I am
Mhm.
evil. That is true. I am this, whatever they talk about me, when you haven't yet seen more people like you. And
Mhm.
before that, before even me engaging in my advocacy that I'm into right now, I just think I did not engage in advocacy personal as myself. I personally think activism chose me because
Mm. Mm.
yeah,
Mhm.
because sometimes, you know, we pass through things, but it is a very, very little people. It is a very few people who come out to talk about all their life experiences, because some of them wouldn't want, people to know about their personal lives, to know their weaknesses. But us coming out to bring out this in broad daylight for everyone to know about our lives, about what is taking place, in our lives, about what we pass through. I think it is really, really not easy. But as I saw on my side, it is easy because activism chose me. So, going back to your question,
Mhm.
um, growing up in different families, it is not something easy, and these
Oh,
are conservative Catholic families.
yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Um, we are in Africa, whereby we are in where we are in Africa, and particularly in Uganda, which is a third class world country. We lack much as a country. We lack academia, we lack research, we lack open-minded, people, like, as a country. So just imagine growing up in a family whereby you are gay, you have to hide your identity, your true self, just to live in there. But guess what? Unfortunately, they get to know, they chase you out. You do not finish even your education. Um, you move out of home at a very, very young age. You go down the
Mhm.
streets. You start doing sex work to earn a living, to see that you can get a single penny,
Right.
uh, to get food, to get water, to get utilities, to get resources to sustain yourself. I ended up into all these situations doing sex work,
Uh,
end up even being beaten by other men, risks of getting HIV. Sometimes we are because most of these times I was very young, not knowing what to do, not having whom to guide me. You know, everything could happen in my life. But I don't know, but I just thank myself because I have been strong. I just thank myself that nothing happened to me. But well, to any other queer individual who is out there who passed through what I passed through, kindly be strong. Just stay with hope inside your heart, because hope is the only thing we have that is fueling us into a brighter future.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay with this hope. It will take you everywhere you want. So I came out home immediately when I finished high school. I had to join campus and get a certain course. This course was a certificate in journalism, which I did not finish up.
Okay.
I did not finish this up. However, I had started. I had one semester that was, remaining. This is when they denied to pay me the last tuition, because this is the time they got to know that I was truly gay.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
How did this all happen? This was the last family I was living in. I was having, I had siblings there in that family, two boys, and two girls. They were living there, and I was the third boy in the family, in that
Okay.
family. So I remember where we used to rent, where that family used to rent. It is where I used to stay. At first, I was gay, but I had not, like, you know discovered myself, like the true self of me, that I'm gay. So where we used to stay near a netball pitch, and many different groups of people used to come, play their netball, go away. So one day, there is this organization that had organized something like a netball gala, and it
Oh.
was an LGBTQ plus organization.
Mm-hmm.
So this organization came through. They played their gala for the whole day. I saw many different people. I saw, people behaving like women. You know, Others were gay men. Many bisexuals, many different LGBTQ plus individuals were there. At first, I just looked at them. They finished their galas, they went. But time kept on flying. They kept on organizing these galas, coming, doing this and that, until I started connecting with these individuals.
Uh,
And on this village where we used to stay, everyone used to talk bad about these people who could come and play netball from this pitch. They could say different stories. Those people are gay. They are being given money because they are gay. Look at them. They behave like women, yet they are men. Look at this. They were speaking, so they were talking so much about them, which wasn't good. So I started making friendship with them.
mm-hmm.
I remember the executive director of this organization, which was organizing all these netball galas, became my friend from that pitch. We started meeting outside the pitch when they are not at the pitch home. But I was very open with him. I told him, what? This is my home area. I cannot associate with you when you are here home. People will get to know that A, B, C, and D is happening. But at the end of the day, it is only him who knows. Other colleagues won't know that this and this is happening. So for them, they could come, greet you around, and my family, my family members I used to stay with could see me, talking to these people, and they kept on wondering, why is this and this happening?
Uh,
So this is one day, when I was coming back from campus, I found one of my siblings whom I was staying with. My siblings is a motorcycle rider.
mm,
This other sibling of mine was a motorcycle rider. So he was like, he found me on my way when I was coming from campus, and he was like, oh my, let me kindly drop you home. And I seated on the motorcycle. But guess what? That evening, I wasn't first heading home. I was heading to that friend's place whom I had got. So I was like, no, leave me here. I'll take myself home. So I was like, okay. When I proceeded going, I didn't know that this sibling of mine was following me up.
oh, I see.
So I found this person, the executive director of this organization, outside his place. He was not inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that this sibling who has been following me up he literally saw this guy and is one of the guys whom he normally sees at the netball pitch,
Okay.
whom people normally talk about them. Me, I didn't know all this. He went back home. He told mom, he told dad about whatever that he saw. When I came back home, they questioned me and they were like, "What were you doing?" I was like, "He's my friend. What?" Some things like that, trying to explain myself more.
Mm-hmm.
So they kept quiet and it felt like everything had ended. Guess what happened tomorrow? They called me home and they took me for a first annual examination in a hospital.
Wow.
It, yeah, it is what my family called and they wanted to do, all in all. I went there. We did this annual examination, and guess what? The whole family was there. I was so embarrassed. I was so ashamed. I felt so bad, you know.
Of course
Like
you did.
this made me feel so bad, like in my life. We came back home. They started using bad words against me. The woman whom I was staying with, who was like my mother, she started saying, do not even use the same plates your other siblings are using, you know, you may spread this to them.
Mm.
Do not, do not even stand near them. Do not even talk to them, I reached at a point when I could even enter the house and everyone could keep quiet when they were having their conversation.
Mm.
Until one day in that very week when they took me for our first annual examination, they were like, we couldn't hold you anymore. They sent me out of home at midnight
Oh my goodness. I am so sorry.
with my bag.
But the important thing, Hans, is that you made it through and you are such a shining example and an inspiration. I want to ask you about two things. Um, you have a documentary titled Voices of Courage that unveils the life and death challenges being faced by people living under the Anti-Homosexuality Act of 2023. Tell us more about that.
Well, this documentary is not yet out,
Okay.
but personally, I think we need to put out the more of the lived experiences, how an LGBTQ plus individual lives their life authentically in the everyday seasons. I literally think the world has known more of that homosexuality law, the death threats, and so. But now I feel like the world needs to see this in a documentary, whereby I feel like the world needs to be to get to know what an LGBTQ plus individual, most especially those living in the remote areas, in the suburbs, what do they pass through in their daily lives. This is all the documentary about, because this is what I also passed through.
Ah.
They need to know
Mm-hmm.
what an LGBTQ plus individual who is a sex worker passes through while doing all this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the world is not yet exposed to all this. you know
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the world needs to discover more of the environment of which the LGBTQ plus individuals live in. And I believe, and I also want the world to express more about what the general public thinks about us. And these were just, direct interviews from the general public, from people from the market. You will see the documentary. We are in the market just interviewing someone. What do you think about gay people? People were very harsh.
Mm-hmm.
People were literally talking very, very bad about us.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring out this reality image to people, so that people can really get to know what we are really passing through. Because when we talk about all this in words, people do not understand. I
Mm-hmm.
want to bring this out so that it can reach to every ally, to every support of the LGBTQ plus individual, to see Because if we do not do this on our very own, nobody is going to do this for us. This is the reason as
Mhm.
to why the anti-LGBTQ plus movement is growing each and every day. I always tell this to the people I meet. Where an LGBTQ plus supporter or donor donates $50, an anti-LGBTQ plus donor or supporter donates $200.
Mm. Mhm.
You know, this is giving them more strength in terms of saturating the policies, in terms of doing more research, in terms of spreading whatever they want, in terms of accessing, you know, places we cannot access, like churches, because they bribe all these places, churches, uh, politicians, schools, crusades, and many other more places. This is just giving them more energy, you know,
Absolutely. Let
and
me,
more opportunity.
absolutely. Okay, let me ask you about the Queer Angels of Uganda. Um,
Mhm.
that's a book that you're in the process of writing.
Yeah, sure.
So tell us about that. I love the title.
Well, the Queer Angels of Uganda, it is not a very, very different book. It is just something very simple. I feel like we the Africans, most especially in Uganda, we have had this struggle from way back then. Imagine from 2014 when they are passing all these anti-homosexuality laws until now.
Mhm.
I feel like many people deserve credits because many people haven't been awarded. Many people haven't been, talked about or a brick that they have laid onto this movement. My book talks about each and every person. It gives, you know it highlights what all these people have done for the movement. It highlights what are the policies these people have fought so that they do not pass. It highlights the life of these particular people, what they have
Mhm.
passed through, what they are currently passing through. It is just a book that collects more than 10 activists in Uganda
Hmm.
that are doing their work,
That
you know,
is
that are
great.
risking their lives, to see and to see that, change happens.
Wow. Well, this is
Yes.
an essential read. Has it been published yet? Or if it hasn't, what's the anticipated publication date?
It was under review and the review is done. Now I'm looking forward to publish it.
Okay, wonderful. And then you've
Yes.
got Poems by Hans. Poems by Hans. Tell us about that.
Simply Poems by Hans, it is just a project that I came up with because personally I'm not employed anywhere, I'm not working, I am not earning. So this is a project I came with in my own mind because I'm a poet, I'm a writer, I'm an editor. I came with this project so that I could be supported by individuals, by someone simply ordering for a personalized poem through their stories, the stories they cherish so much in life they wouldn't want to forget. They just narrate to me these stories, and personally, I create poems through them, and I send them to them, and I send these poems to them. So each and every poem I send to them, they always donations start with $50, but anything any person would want, or more or less, you know they would want to donate more to me. I really, really do appreciate it. It's just a project that me and John we established to see that personally I earn a living.
That's you and John Boswell, I believe.
Sorry.
That's you and John Boswell created the project.
Yes, we created the project. John always supports me to look for individuals who would want to, get these poems, and I would sit down and write these poems to them.
Great. So where can we place our orders for Poems by Hans?
You can simply go in your Google and type in our advocacypride.org. So when you reach this website of ourpride.org, you can simply see each and everything in details. You will see the African Pride on their menu. You will see the African Pride, poems by hands, shop by hands, and many other more projects there. So you will just simply click in poems by hands. You will simply reach my profile. There are many buttons: donate to hands, order for a personalized poems, process your payments. So you press on order for a poem, then you pay. After
Wonderful.
ordering, yes, you can. Or after ordering for the poem, you can write in a simple story of yours, or even request for my personal email. You write it for me, or even write it there. Then when you send it to me, I will receive it on my email, and then I will have a look at it. As you have already donated the funds, then I will write each and everything that is needed from that story. You give me something like a week, I produce
Mhm.
it.
Got it.
Yes.
Tell us your social media, all of your social media. How can we communicate with you? How can we connect with you?
Well, I am on X, formerly Twitter, and most people aren't there because of its homophobic views.
Right.
And I'm on Blue Sky too, and I'm on Instagram. On Instagram, you can simply put Senfuma underscore hands. You will be getting me.
Okay, spell that for me, please.
Senfuma, it is Senfuma underscore hands, that is HANS. You could go and view each and every of my social media campaigns against the struggle we are in. I'm also
Wonderful.
on X. I'm also on X, formerly known as Twitter, and simply they are the same names, same former hands. You can
Mhm.
simply go on X, search about the name, then do the same thing. I am also on Blue Sky, and these are the names I use on Blue Sky. I will first check on my Blue Sky. I use senfumahands.bsky.social.
Wonderful. Well, Hans,
Yes.
I want to thank you so much for stopping by the Wyatt podcast, and you have to come back soon.
Sure, I'll be glad also to come back and spread the gossip about the truth.
Very good. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah. You are welcome, Wyatt, and thank you so much for organizing this podcast. My last word for the people listening to this podcast will be being gay is normal and natural as being straight. Do not criminalize or do not criminalize someone because of who they are. Because at the end of the day, these are the people you live with in your everyday life. These are the doctors. These are the people you sit with in the train. These are the people you
Mhm.
sit with in the taxi. These are the people you sit with in classes. These are the people whom you go to, whom you sell products to. These are your neighbors. These are the friends to your children. These are the friends to your mothers and fathers. So just keep the room for hate closed.
Well
Yeah.
said. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you so much, Wyatt, too.
Yeah. So, y'all, there you have it. You can find the official Wyatt podcast page at WyattEvans.com, the go-to destination for LGBTQ plus news, features, commentary, and entertainment. WyattEvans.com is visited by more than 100 countries on the regular. All I can say to that is, hey, baby. And at WyattEvans.com, you'll find my smoking hot, HAWT hot, Nothing Can Tear Us Apart series of novels. And as you just saw on the top, The newest installment is called Shattered. I said Shattered. And y'all, Shattered is full of action, danger, intrigue, sexually charged situations, passion, and all of the wonderful elements that you're used to in the Nothing Can Tear Us Apart series of novels. So get your new copy of Shattered. Now you can follow me, your host, Wyatt O'Brien Evans, all across social media, and poof is right there for you to peruse, like TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any comments or whatever, you can hit me up at wyattonair@gmail.com. So until next time, y'all, woof, goddammit, woof, 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 woof. I said woof.